Hello everyone, welcome to SwitchUp as we once again have a look at some of the games coming out for the Switch in this upcoming week. In terms of dates, we'll be looking at the last week of September, that's the 24th up until the 30th, and we'll first look at a couple of games that crept out without being in one of these videos for whatever reason. So which games are coming out for the Switch this week? Well, let's find out. Let's start with a couple of games that are already out then, and the first is Shovel Knight Dig. The popular indie mascot returns in a new game as you must tunnel your way down to chase Drill Knight who has stolen your treasure. The levels have been handcrafted but are then stitched together using proprietary generation. There are new knights, new characters and new enemies, and you'll grow in power and wealth as you descend into the depths of the earth. It sells for £22.49 or your regional equivalent.
Thanks to Q.U.B.E Games, the publisher of From Space, for sponsoring this episode. From Space is a no-nonsense top-down action game that can be played solo but flourishes in co-op. The co-op mode is online and for up to 4 players, and sees you either shooting, exploding or stabbing using a range of rocket launchers, miniguns, flamethrowers, not to mention a number of melee weapons. You create your own spec and then equip grenades and mines, and even set up barbed wire to try and give yourself the edge. Now there are loads of different characters and you can also pick from specialist skills. These are essentially classes with their own ability and weapons, and it's important to pay attention to what your friends will use because certain ones work better together. And there's a leveling system here. As you level up you can choose new perks, and not only can you swap your own around, you can actually swap these between your squad. The visuals look absolutely lovely, with those contrasting neon colours and that thumping soundtrack, and coming in at just 1.4 GB, it's not one to sleep on. It releases on November the 3rd. For Nintendo Switch, Steam and Stadia, and I'll pop a link in the top pinned comment if you want to support us and also check it out, then give that a click.
And the other game for those already out is Prodeus. This is a first-person shooter which uses a really interesting art style of retro-inspired visuals but portrayed using modern principles and technology. It does look pretty great to be fair. There's a campaign made from industry FPS veterans, co-op and competitive multiplayer, a level editor and built-in community map browser. This one costs £19.99. Let's move on to the games coming out this week, and the first is The Spirit and the Mouse. This is a narrative adventure where a mouse and a spirit guardian must work in tandem to restore balance in their village. You'll be searching through the world to complete objectives and collect items, taking things at your own pace from the perspective of a mouse. As well as this, you'll be using electricity-based powers to traverse the world around you and collecting new abilities to help you on the course of your journey. It's out on the 26th and it will cost £15.49. Then we have Alfred Hitchcock Vertigo, a psychological thriller inspired by the 1958 movie Vertigo, which of course was directed by Alfred Hitchcock. Going by the blurb, this game tells its own story but shares the same theme of the movie of a main character suffering a severe trauma that causes them to develop vertigo, and it claims to tell a story about obsession, manipulation and madness. You will be investigating through the eyes of 3 different characters and exploring timelines to cross-check the events of the story and attempt to separate reality from deceptive memories. I am very intrigued by this one, I must say, and it will be interesting to see whether there is anything of Hitchcock in here in regards to cinematography, direction and storytelling techniques, or if it is just a case of using a known name and linking it fairly tenuously. It will sell for £34.99.
I'm not interfering in your job, Sheriff. Don't interfere in mine.
I'm gonna kill that son of a bitch.
I order you not to do anything.
Ed?
We also have Tunic, which is an isometric action game where you play as a little fox stranded on a ruined island. The blurb says that armed with just your curiosity, you'll confront colossal beasts, collect strange and powerful items, and unravel long-lost secrets. It goes on to say that you'll explore a hostile and intricately connected world of shady forests and sprawling ruins, fighting mighty bosses deep beneath the earth or high above the clouds, and discovering treasures and unearthing secrets. It also mentions that you'll be reconstructing the game's instruction manual page by page, revealing maps and tips as you go, which is quite an interesting concept, so it'll be good to see how that pans out. It will cost £25.19 or your regional equivalent. Then we have Hokko Life, a farm life sim from Team 17, where you'll be looking to build the town of Hokko into the charming and rural town it has the potential to be. You can use your workshop to craft materials and combine them, creating furniture and items for your town. The materials will need to be gathered, and you can also design clothes, wallpaper and flooring to further personalise your town. As well as this, you have the farming side of course, and the usual genre activities such as fishing and hunting bugs. This one is out on the 27th and it will cost £15.99. The next game is Q.U.B.E 10th Anniversary, which, as the name suggests, is an anniversary edition of Q.U.B.E, which first released in 2012. The original game is included with refined visuals and revised gameplay, as well as the 2014 Director's Cut and a new chapter called Sector 8, which adds another 4 to 6 hours of gameplay. There is a developer commentary, 46 collectibles and a number of other bits such as concept art for fans of the game to enjoy. It's selling for a very reasonable £14.99 and it also releases on the 27th. Another farm game next with Life in Willowdale Farm Adventures, and in this game the daughter of the mayor dislikes the countryside and wants you to transform the town into a modern tourist resort. You'll be working by day on the farm, planting and harvesting produce, rebuilding the town by upgrading the buildings and enticing new residents to move in, and you can also go on adventures including being able to invite a friend for some local multiplayer. A fair bit more expensive than the previous farm game at £34.99, although you can get 10% off of this price up until just before launch. Then we have Moonscars, which is a 2D action game set in a non-linear world where you play as Claiborne warrior Grey Irma on a quest to find the sculptor and unravel the mystery of her existence. The blurb says you'll be facing off against the relentless darkness that seeks to destroy you, with every death being a lesson learned as you mould yourself into a master warrior. You'll need to slash and parry with your sword, wield unique special weapons, and command powerful witchery in a strange, dark fantasy tale filled with twists and turns. It looks and sounds very much like Blasphemous, a very good game that's also on the Switch, and this one releases on the 27th for £15.99.
Well, here I am, precious one. Right here. What would you ask of me?
Also this week is RAILGRADE, which is a management sim which sees you using railways to transport resources and power industry onto an off-world colony. You'll need to construct intricate railway networks, customising your trains using different engines and freight types, and invest in the growth of your cities or use zeppelins to export goods for extra profit. These sort of games can be incredibly addictive when done right, and I do like the concept of this one, it does sound interesting. It will cost £15.99, but there is 10% available off of that price up until the 5th of October. Adventure game called Airoheart, which comes via Tedesco. You play as Airoheart on a quest to stop his brother's diabolical plan to unleash an ancient evil that has been sealed away for generations. Aesthetically, it has a Legend of Zelda Secret of Mana look to it, although perhaps with a more muted colour scheme, which, judging by the screenshots at least, fits quite well with the dark story being told. This one is out on the 30th and it will cost £34.99. Also on the 30th is a charming looking game called Lemon Cake. You'll be looking to fix up a bakery which is broken down, overgrown and possibly even haunted, furnishing and decorating rooms and gathering ingredients to create a number of recipes. Mix ingredients together to provide delicacies such as baked pastries, candies and frozen desserts, being sure to serve customers quickly and keep your window display well stocked so as not to miss out on an order. I do like these sort of time management games as long as the gameplay loop keeps you engaged of course, and this definitely has a very pleasant look to it. It's going to cost £26.99, although you can get 10% off of that price up until just before launch. The penultimate game for the week is The Legend of Heroes Trails from Zero. This first released in Japan in 2010 for the PSP and was not localised at the time, being skipped for localisation for later game in the series Trails of Cold Steel. It is now coming to the West via NIS America and follows the story of protagonist Lloyd Bannin's return to his hometown to follow in the footsteps of his late brother and join the Crossbell Police Department. It's going to cost £35.99. And finally for the week we have Sword Art Online, Alicization, Lycoris if I've said that correctly, apologies if not. This is set in Underworld, an expansive world introduced in the Sword Art Online anime, and includes real-time battles using a combination of sword skills, sacred arts, and your favourite Sword Art Online characters according to the blurb. This appears to have received fairly mixed reviews when it released elsewhere a while back, but it's another game out on the 30th if you are a fan of the series. It will cost you £44.99 or your regional equivalent. So there you have it, another week of Nintendo Switch releases. Do any of these games interest you? Will you be picking any of them up? Please do let us know in the comment section below. A big thank you to the sponsor of today's video. Please do check out their products, full details will be in the description. And don't forget, if you are looking for any eShop credit, you can pick up your eShop cards from our website switchup.gg. Use the code SwitchUp to get yourself 10% off of an order if you are in the US or EU regions. There's also a link to Play Asia down there if you want to import any games. Again, use the link, use the code stated, and you can get yourself 5% off of an order from there. A quick thank you to our Patreons as always for your continued support, and to each and every one of you for watching our videos. Take care, and until next time, happy gaming.